If you haven't stayed at a fine hotels and resort property, what's stopping you? Is it because it's too complicated? Well, in this video, I'll be showing you exactly what I did to book this hotel that I'm staying in, a 5-star hotel, for less than $80 with a whole host of benefits. So first, what are the benefits of booking through a fine hotels and resorts program? First, just know you can only access the fine hotels and resorts benefit through the American Express Platinum card or the American Express Centurion card. You get noon check-in if it's available. You get room upgrades if it's available. You also get a daily breakfast credit, free Wi-Fi, a guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout, and a special amenity credit that can be used at spas. It could be used at dining, wine, cocktails, valets, a bunch of different things depending on the hotel you're staying at. Now, if for some reason you don't like nice things, you can also use your American Express Fine Hotels and Resort credit at this program called the Hotel Collection. It's a little bit lower end properties, not all the time, they just happen to not be part of the American Express Fine Hotels and Resort program. However, even though the properties may be nice, the benefits definitely lack compared to the fine hotels and resort property. Like, the only benefits that you'll get with the hotel collection is the possibility of getting room upgrades and the amenity credit. That's it. Also, you book a hotel collection property, you have to book at least 2 nights. Compared to the fine hotels and resort property, you only need to book 1 night. Now, before sharing my experience of staying in this nice 5-star hotel, let's go back in time and I'll show you the booking process. Alright, so when it actually comes to booking the hotel, you want to go to amextravel.com. So amextravel.com, and this is what the screen should look like. If you haven't logged into your Amex account or American Express account, just go ahead and log in on the right top hand side, and then after you're done with that, just click on the second tab, hotel. Choose how many rooms you want, how many people are traveling with you. So for me, I want 1 room with 2 people, and then in the destination box, type in where you want to go. So for me, I'm going to type in Washington D.C. Check-in Saturday to Sunday. Done. And then you just want to select a property that you want to use your FHR credit or your Fine Hotels and Resorts credit at. Just make sure if you're wanting to book a Fine Hotels and Resort property, those properties are going to be listed in this black color. Now, if you're wanting to book a hotel collection property, which will also trigger the hotel credit on the American Express Platinum, those properties, instead of the black color, will be highlighted in the blue color. And in DC, there's plentiful of properties that you can choose from. There are more expensive ones like the Salamander in Washington D.C, which will run you $415. The Waldorf in Washington D.C, which used to be the Trump Hotel, is running you $403. But there are some cheaper properties too, like for example the Conrad in Washington D.C will only cost you $318. And for the night I was staying in Washington D.C, the Watergate Hotel seemed to be the cheapest out-of-pocket option, only costing $280 with a hotel fee of $33. So my out-of-pocket cost would be about $100, which I don't think is too bad. So go ahead and select a hotel, scroll through the images if you want to, or if you're pretty dead set on booking this hotel, just go ahead and click on rooms or view rates. And if you're alright booking the cheapest room, which tends to be a king bed, just click on book. Then you'll have 3 options. You can either pay with your American Express Platinum card, you can pay with your MR points, or you can pay at the hotel. Now, I think for most cases, especially if you want to trigger the hotel credit, you're going to want to select pay with card, because from my understanding, it will only trigger when you select this method, and alongside that, you'll get 5 MR points per dollar spent. Now, for the second method, pay with MR points, you really got nothing to do with your American Express points. This may not be a bad option, you'll get 1 cent per point, but from my understanding, this method won't trigger the hotel credit and won't get you 5 times points back per dollar spent. And then for the last method, paying at the hotel, you won't be getting 5 times points per dollar spent. It won't trigger the hotel credit. It's basically worthless. So per my personal recommendation, I would select pay with card. After you're done selecting that, click pay now. Make sure all the dates are right, make sure the room that you selected is correct, and then just go ahead and fill out the information. So your first name, your middle name, your last name, your email address, and your phone number, which if you already have an American Express account should be already pre-filled in. And then you'll have the option to add your loyalty number. When I've entered my hotel loyalty program, it has earned points. So on top of American Express points, the hotel credit, I've also been earning hotel points. And then you can also select special requests. Like for example, you need it to be accessible, or you need an infant crib, a late check-in, or an extra bed. So not too many options, but it's still helpful if these situations apply to you. And then after you're done with that, just scroll down to the payment section. And in here, you're going to be asked one more time how you want to pay for this hotel. And of course, for most cases, you're going to want to pay with your card. So select the American Express card that you want to use the hotel credit on. Review the terms and conditions, click on the box, and then book your room. And in a couple days after the transaction has been posted, you should receive the hotel credit not too long after. But enough about the boring stuff. How was it actually staying at the Watergate Hotel? Let's go back to the hotel and I'll show you. So I booked this stay from Sunday to Monday, staying July 9th and checking out July 10th. On on Sunday, I was already in the Washington D.C. area, so we just metroed in or subwayed in to the Watergate Hotel. We did try to check in early, about 1:30. Unfortunately for us, for the room they booked us in, it wasn't quite ready yet. However, we didn't mind, the lobby was really nice. So during that time, we were just looking around and I was just editing my video. But finally, our room was ready. I handed over my driver's license and my platinum card to the front desk. They checked us in, gave us the key, and it's actually a pretty funny key. This is what the hotel key looks like. The front maybe not too visible, but here's the back. It says no need to break in. They really play on the Watergate scandal in this hotel.
Well, I'm not a crook.
But at the front desk, they went over the FHR benefits. And here they are. So here are the benefits of staying at the Watergate Hotel through FHR. You'll get noon check-in if it's available, room upgrade when it's also available. They upgraded us from a regular king room to what they call the King Deluxe. It's a pretty nice room. It's on the highest floor and it has a really nice view of Georgetown and the river. Daily breakfast for two located in the Kingsburg restaurant, which is the hotel's restaurant, and that credit they give is only $60. You also get in-room Wi-Fi, which surprisingly isn't too fast. Kind of slow for a 5-star hotel. Guaranteed late checkout of 4 p.m, which we're definitely taking advantage of, and an FHR special amenity credit of $100 to be used at food and beverages such as in-room dining, Kingsburg restaurant, the next whiskey bar. The credit can also be used at the spa, and for the spa the tip is not included in the credit. And just remember, to take advantage of all these credits, remember to book it to your room. So when we arrived to our room, it was definitely a nice room. Me personally, I don't think it's worth spending $1,000 a night on, which is the average cost of this hotel, but it was definitely nice. When we stayed here, it was actually fairly cheap. It was only $280. So after using the American Express Platinum credit, it only came up to a $80 per night charge. So definitely not bad for staying at a 5-star hotel. However, there is a reason why it is cheaper on Sunday. Most of the restaurants close early on Sunday, so you're only stuck with using the amenity credit at the whiskey bar, which doesn't have too many food options, and in-room dining, which as you know has a surcharge and many fees that comes with that. So it just makes it a little bit more difficult to use the credits they give you. But other than that, it was a pretty nice room. It had a bunch of stuff, like I said earlier, talking about the Watergate stuff. It says I stole from the Watergate Hotel, so that's pretty cool. Oh, here's the Kingbird napkin and the logo. It also had these factoid coasters, which I found pretty interesting. Here's another one that has another different fact. And I also asked for some envelopes, and they actually gave them to me. The amenities they give are pretty nice. At least they feel pretty nice. But other than that, we just chilled in the room and enjoyed the amazing view until we went to the next event, the Architect House. The whole room was projected with this huge image, and it had a bunch of interactive art, which was pretty fun. And after we were done with that, it was maybe around 8 o'clock. And for the Watergate Hotel, like I said earlier, most of the restaurants already closed. So we were stuck with basically our only option of getting in-room dining, which we weren't too upset about. We didn't feel like moving around anyways. Especially with the robes they give you at this hotel, it is very comfortable. But similar experience to the other hotels that we ordered in-room dining.
Hello, good evening. This is the cover on dining. How can I help you, sir?
Could I get the...
So you have the steak medium, the burger medium, and the jiggle cap. Anything else that we got to this order?
That's it, thank you.
All right. How many of these guys will be dining with you?
2.
Thank you for your order. We'll see you soon.
Alright, thank you. They come up to your room with the food on a cart, wheel in the cart into your room, and then hand you the bill. And this is what the bill looked like. So you see all the charges here. You also see the charge for in-room dining, and then the service charge. And then at the bottom, it'll ask for a tip. So I gave a $22.74 tip, making the total $160, and with a $100 credit, reducing it down to $60. So definitely not bad. It covered most of the meal. And then as you see on the bottom, you have to charge it to your room. So our room is $14.25. Print your name and then sign. And that's all you have to do. And when you're done eating, just wheel the cart outside your room, call in-room dining, and just tell them that you're done. But other than that, we just chilled the rest of the night. And then for the morning, we used our breakfast credit, which was a measly $60. And I say measly because you have to see the menu prices. It was basically like $20 to $25 per dish. And honestly, at this hotel, it wasn't that great. We ordered a tea, my wife ordered an Americano. They were both $7. We ordered breakfast pastries, which was about $20. My wife ordered an avocado toast, which came out to be about $25. And then I ordered a chicken waffles, which was $23. Kinda insane. Especially for the food they served at breakfast wasn't too great. It kinda reminded us of other hotel buffets. Service was top notch though, which reminds me, when staying at the Watergate Hotel, personally for me, I don't think everything is that nice. However, one thing is that the service is gonna be excellent, because when we went out to the Architect House, we asked the front desk for a couple more shampoos, body lotions, a notepad, the envelope, pens, and when we asked for that stuff, It was kinda insane when we came back. We noticed the window shades were all put down. The remote was moved next to the bedside. The blanket that goes across the bed was put up into the closet. All the trash was taken out. All the old towels were taken out. The sink was cleaned up. The slippers were neatly placed along the bedside, along with a slipper mat underneath the slippers. It's just a dedicated mat for slippers. I guess that's why you stay at a 5-star hotel. However, it does come with 5-star prices because they do have a mini bar in this room, but just for a small pack of M&Ms, this will run you $15, and it's not even that big of a jar. But lastly, after breakfast, we just did some work at the hotel. We're still in here now, and we're getting pretty close to be checking out soon. So I'll let you know how that process goes. Oh, and if you're lucky enough to be upgraded to it, 214. That room is the most special room in this hotel because that's the room that we get the Watergate scandal from.
There's the president waving goodbye.
And actually, if you've been looking at the screen behind me, it's been showcasing that room in the background. There's a bunch of Nixon stuff. There's a bunch of like recorders, tape recorders, like just newspaper articles all over plastered in that room. I think it's a once in a lifetime experience. Personally, for me, I haven't stayed in it, but maybe it's somewhere I hope to stay in the future. Oh, and one last thing about the hotel that I did ask. So in the room, they provide you a robe and an umbrella. The umbrella costs you $37 if you want to buy it. It's a limited edition, special designed umbrella. And it's actually fairly nice umbrella. I'm not sure if it's worth $37, but maybe it's a nice souvenir. The robe, on the other hand, I do think is worth picking up. However, it will run you $150. So that's kind of expensive, but maybe worth it depending on you. And I did ask, especially since the food isn't that great here, if the special amenity credit can be used to purchase those things, and unfortunately you can't use it because that would be awesome. Alright, so now we're back. The checkout experience wasn't any different from any other hotel you would stay at, and they did honor the 4 p.m. late checkout. This is what the receipt looked like with each charge listed. Oh, and I guess our checkout experience wasn't exactly normal to a traditional hotel, because towards the end of our stay, we actually asked the front desk if we could buy one of the robes. Unfortunately, it was 30 minutes before our checkout time. I think when they finally brought the robe to us, it was another 20 minutes after we checked out, so about 4:15, which wasn't too big of a deal. And they gave it to us in this nice little bag, which I think is a pretty cool souvenir. But yeah, here it is. It's all new. Here's a little logo right here. Oh, so nice. You just gotta try it. It's like really fluffy. Oh, and also don't tell anyone, but we actually stole one of the Watergate towels. So far, they haven't extra charged me for this towel, so pretty cool souvenir. I really wish you could use the FHR credits for this robe because the food at the Watergate Hotel wasn't the best. Would I recommend staying at the Watergate Hotel or staying in Washington D.C? To answer your question about staying at the Watergate Hotel, I think it's a good one-time experience to have. The service you'll get at this hotel is impeccable. The rooms are pretty decent. I wouldn't pay $1,000 for the rooms, so staying on a Sunday, their cheaper day, is probably more worth it in my opinion. Now would I stay in Washington D.C? If you followed me from the beginning, you might have known that I used to live in Washington D.C. It's still one of my favorite cities. It is pretty expensive. That's why I'm living in Lexington, Kentucky now. But there's so many fun things and free things to do in Washington, D.C. All the Smithsonian museums are free. Also in Washington, D.C., there are pretty cool paid museums as well if you want to experience that. Like the International Spy Museum, the Arctech House or Planet World, or the National Building Museum. Also in D.C., there are many entertainment options that you can go to. Like there's the JFK building. There's usually a show always going on. There's orchestras. There's a Broadway house. A new place just opened up in DC where you can play mini golf and drink at the same time. So I think that's pretty cool. And also in DC, I'm surprised more people don't talk about it. Some of my favorite food and restaurants have come out of the DC area. So would I recommend going to DC? 100% yes. I feel like more people in their lifetime have visited New York over Washington DC, and I think that's really a shame. But I think this will do it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you later.